Hey, yo, welcome into the Chicago Sports Podcast. Still getting used to that title. Presented by Goose Island, the official beer of CHGO. Find one of their Chicagoland locations at gooseisland.com/locations. Welcome in to Circa Resort and Casino in beautiful Las Vegas. We are very proud to be bringing you our final Vegas show. We were thrilled to be sent out here by Circa for Circa Million and Circa Survivor. We'll tell you about that in just a bit. I'm Sean Anderson. You can follow me at Sean_W_Anderson. The Chicago Sports Podcast looks a little bit different than normal. That's Cody Delmendo. You can follow him at Cody_CHGO. And the man in the middle is Nicholas Moreano, our CHGO Bears beat writer. You can follow him at Nicholas Moreano. Marissa is our producer, kicking ass, and we seem to be live. So you didn't fuck up.
We're
so
live.
There you go. We're doing a great job. It's been so fun to be out here at Circa Resort and Casino. Again, we are here for Circa Million and Circa Survivor. $14 million in guaranteed prizes. The two contests, Circa Million 5 guarantees $6 million in prizes, $1,000 per entry. 5 maximum numbers of entries per person. You pick 5 teams against the spread every week. Winner takes home $1 million. There's also Circa Survivor, $8 million guaranteed to the winners of that contest. $1,000 per entry, maximum of 10 entries per person. You pick one team straight up every week to win. If your team loses or ties, you are eliminated. You can only pick one team once a season. So you got to go 20-0, or you just got to be last person standing, and then you will be the winner of Circa Survivor. So we are so proud to be out here. It was great to have the meet and greet last night. And Cody, we're going to be talking about your Cubs in just a second, how serious of World Series contenders they are this year. Mm-hmm. But a big win last night.
Big win last night.
You willed it.
Yeah, I legitimately willed it. Listen, the Chicago Cubs are 1-0 when I go to Vegas. All right.
I mean, you can't.
Undefeated.
Yeah.
Undefeated. The Cubs are undefeated when I go to Vegas.
Big of you.
Credit to me for coming to Vegas to manifest a win. Don't let the facts get in the way of a good story, folks. On the real, we were watching it last night, but not watching it because we were like, hanging out, enjoying free drinks at what we were at the D, but like the place is legitimately called the D, right?
It's called the D.
And
D.
we were in this like private party for like everyone that's basically here on Radio Row, and we're enjoying free drinks. And so, before we got there, like we were kind of just walking around, checking out Circa and everything. So, admittedly, I wasn't following it the entire time, but we were following it at the most important time, and that is when they won. Yes. And I lost my mind a little bit at the D. And
lost your mind at the D.
Yeah, Cubs have won 5 of their last 6, and feeling pretty good right now.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, after you guys lost to the White Sox in that first game, I know the world was falling. I know Luke said in this 12-game stretch they needed to win 9 games, and they didn't win the first 1. So of course Cubs fans were like, "Oh, the season's over." Well, now after the win last night, the Cubs are firmly in the second wild card spot. They have taken the lead over the Reds. Reds lose last night on a Corbin Carroll go-ahead homer in the 8th. So the Cubs 3 games back of Milwaukee, a full game up of Cincinnati in the NL Central, and they are in second place of the wild card. Nick, I know you're not a Cubs fan, but looking at the other side of town, must be nice.
It must be nice to even, have a baseball team in consideration for being, not only just a playoff team, but like our headline says, are they legit contenders? And that must be nice, Cody, to at least be in that position, because as a White Sox fan, I have been so removed from the team because I just can't honestly stand to see what has happened this season. But it's good for one of these baseball teams to actually be looking like they're heading in the right direction. Yeah. The Cubs are definitely that team when you look at between them and the Sox.
Yeah. I mean, hey, spin zone for you guys. It's good for business, right?
Yeah, it's good. Exactly.
It's good for business.
Let's go Cubs.
Yeah, no, the Cubs entered the year as a, Vegas, Circa, whoever had them 77.5 wins. That was the win total coming into the year, and they're going, unless a massive collapse happens here, it would have to be like historic massive collapse. So they have 67 wins now, and so they need 11 wins to surpass that. It seems like they're going to surpass that pretty easily here at the end of August.
I mean, they have 6 games against Colorado. That's 6 wins right there.
Yeah. So the people, the odds makers, weren't high on the Cubs coming the year, and in some parts of this season, for sure, I can understand why they weren't, because it's not like it's been a perfect year for the Cubs. They're not even leading the division right now. They're in the wild card, but they've played their best ball when they've absolutely needed to, and for the most part, you've seen some extremes happen. Like, no one thought Justin Steele would be in the National League Cy Young race. You're seeing guys like Cody Bellinger who have not been good for the last couple of years due to injuries and other certain things. He's setting himself up to get paid a lot of money this offseason by someone, hopefully the Cubs, if you're asking me. Dansby Swanson has been a home run free agent signing, and then you've seen other guys kind of come in and play their role really well. Nick Madrigal, you guys are familiar with him. I've been so up and down on him, but he's been a very solid player for them in the role that they've put him in. Struggled offensively early in the year, but in the second half of the year, and honestly, since he went to Iowa, came back from Iowa, he's been hitting very well for them, on top of playing way better defense at third base than anyone ever expected. I mean, Luke, Ryan, well, not Ryan because he's a Nick Madrigal stan, but me, Luke, Corey, Brendan, we were making jokes about how is Madrigal even going to be able to throw the ball past the past the pitcher's mound. We were making jokes in the offseason whenever it became known that Madrigal was going to be playing a lot of third base, and he shut me up. It's guys like that. They've just really done well at playing their role. So outside of him, then you got guys in the bullpen that no one knew or expected to take big steps or become a big part of, high leverage situations. Julian Merriweather, they just picked him up off waivers. He's like a 7th or 8th inning guy, throws 100, and, they've turned him into something. Mark Leiter Jr., a guy that they DFA'd and managed to bring back, and he's basically a left-handed specialist for the Cubs because he has reverse splits. And Albert Alzolay, I think he's got 16 saves since July 1st. He's really owned the closer role. Has it been perfect throughout, watching him do it? I would say no, but it's fun to see the Cubs actually develop their own closer. That's not something that they ever do, right. It feels like, over the span of the last decade or two, and so that's exciting.
Well, and that dude just oozes confidence.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's the thing, watching Alzolay. I mean, Corey's great meme of they don't know how hard I'm going to pump my fist. I mean, it just seems like, again, he was a top pitching prospect, and we see now in Major League Baseball, just to make it as a major league pitcher is important, whether you're in the bullpen or not, and he has a defined role, and he really seems to be taking on that role and thriving in that role. And you talked about what Vegas expected this team to do before the year. What was the number you got them to make the playoffs?
I got them to make the playoffs at plus 310, and I got them to win the division at plus 650. You just said earlier that they're right now, if you were to bet them to make the playoffs, they're minus 150, correct?
Yep, at Circa Sports, minus 150 to make the playoffs for the Chicago Cubs.
Exciting.
So, I mean, they're in a good spot, but it's just really how far can they go? I mean, we talked a lot about the NFL, and, are they just the New York Giants, right? Are they just, knocking on the wild card doorstep, and maybe, they beat the Minnesota Vikings, but they can't beat the Dodgers, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, what do you expect
or
from
or the Braves.
Or the Braves, right. I mean, what do you expect from the Cubs here, Nick, just because, again, they have Justin Steele as their ace, but Marcus Stroman is now out for, possibly up to 12 weeks.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll see Stroman the rest of the year, just based off the type of injury that he has. It could heal in 2 weeks, or it could take 6 months. It's a very unfortunate injury, considering he was in the Cy Young race as well at the beginning of the year, or at least at the All-Star break. I mean, he made the All-Star this team this year, and then the second half just hasn't been good. He's struggled when he's been in the game. He's struggled since the Cubs went to London to play that London series against the Cardinals. So now they're trying to plug and play. It almost feels like in some aspect. I saw from Tommy Birch, he is from the Des Moines Register out in Iowa. He said that Jordan Wicks is no longer in Iowa, so that means he's probably going to come make a start for the Cubs this weekend in Pittsburgh, probably on Sunday, which I think Drew Smiley was scheduled to pitch on Sunday, and he's really struggled as a starter these last few months. So I think Jordan Wicks is probably going to start on Sunday, and we'll see how it happens. He was a 2021 first-round pick, so the Cubs are high on him. It's a tough situation considering you're putting a rookie pitcher in a a playoff race here at the end of August, but desperate times call for desperate measures, and the Cubs are in a playoff race. They're trying to win games, so I respect it. But we'll see how he does. I don't have super high expectations to start here, but I'm optimistic about what he could be down the road and the rest of this year too.
Cody, like you mentioned earlier, I think the Cubs, when you look at just the stretch of games that they've won, they're getting hot at the right time, right? Towards the end of the year, and then you guys mentioned they play Colorado a couple times on the schedule. So
they have the easiest schedule the second half.
That's good for a team that I think is obviously you're not going to have Stroman, guys like that, but if you can get hot at the right time towards the end of the year, who knows what can happen playoff time, right? You can
never
catch
know,
a
man.
team. Exactly. So
Phillies are a great example from last season.
Yeah, exactly.
They were like a 6th seed, I think, and they had to go to St. Louis and play the wild card series, and they won 2 straight games on the road, and then just like the magic happened, they find themselves playing, the Astros in the World Series, and that team was, to me, that Phillies team was very flawed, and they somehow got there. That's honestly the beauty of baseball is just anything can happen on any given day, and any team can get hot. So
Right, and hey, the Cubs have just been consistent. That's the thing. They've gotten hot, and recently, especially in July and August, they found their hotter stretches. But they've been very consistent throughout the year. There hasn't been too many low points or too many massive dips here for the Cubs. We have 54 people watching, only 11 likes. We do appreciate everyone hanging out with us. We see all the comments. But make sure you're hitting the thumbs up button. It's free. It's right there. We appreciate it.
We got 11 of them. Hit the like button, guys.
And we appreciate Chris Piguero sending in a $5 super chat. Is there a way to maybe keep Bellinger and get Ohtani, or maybe keep Candelario and get Ohtani? Not saying we are a lock to get Shohei. I don't know what you guys make of this. Shohei Ohtani is not going to pitch for the rest of the year. He's got a torn he's got a UCL injury. I don't know if it's torn, but. We talked $600 million, $700 million. What does this do for the Ohtani contract? I
think it certainly impacts how much he's going to get paid for sure, because it's not the first injury he's ever had. He had Tommy John back in 2018. Yeah. It makes you wonder how much longer this guy can pitch and be a position player too. I think that eventually he's going to have to choose one. Maybe not next year or the year after, but eventually.
You can't make him a closer.
Well, maybe. Yeah,
we're going to throw out the guy who has 50 bombs and throws 100 and has the best sweeper in all of baseball.
I still think that affects how much money he's going to get though, because even though he can pitch and throw 100 and all that, he's not. If that were the idea, I just don't think he's going to get paid that kind of money. That we were talking record-breaking numbers, man. If it's as a closer and just his offense, then I think he just gets. I think he honestly would get something similar to what we've seen guys Mike Trout and Bryce Harper and all them get.
$426 million is the Trout contract.
Yeah, I still think he's right around there between that $450 and $500 million type contract, just because I still think he can be a starter for the next handful of years, but. At some point, I think it might require him to choose to either be just a pitcher or just a position player or DH, whatever. It honestly would be, and I could see him doing it because he's such an athlete. He's so underrated in terms of the speed that he has. If he could turn himself into a position player, that could be a game changer for him if he does end up stop pitching down the road.
Right, he's got the arm for right field. Just real quick, Gary Ross is letting facts get in the way of a good story, saying he's a pure DH now. How does he close when he's on deck or on base? He won't be able to warm up. Shut up, Gary. That's not fun. You're being a buzzkill here, Gary. Yeah. It would be so cool for him to be a closer.
Being a buzzkill, Gary.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Don't let the facts get in the way of a good story. I don't know, man.
They made so many different rules for him to do all the pitching and hitting stuff. They'll find some way for him to do that.
He's when they say he's a unicorn, he legitimately is. The things that we've seen that guy do, to be able to see him go out there and hit home runs the way he does, on top of throwing 100 miles per hour, and then the sprint speed that he displays on the bases and everything you can argue him being one of the greatest, like, just pure athletes ever in sports history. Yeah. Yes, because that's just, it's unreal. It's the fact that he can do both those things at an elite level is to me, it just blows my mind. He's the greatest baseball player we've ever seen. I thought Mike Trout was that guy, but I think Ohtani is that guy.
Yeah, he's definitely in that consideration there, Cody. I wonder now what people, though, how do you view Shohei Ohtani? Obviously, you mentioned unicorn and all these things he can do, but if he's not consistently out there, on the mound pitching, and he is just a hitter, which he's an amazing freaking hitter, for Cubs fans, I wonder, like, would you still bring in Shohei Ohtani no matter what? Or does that now get a little
I'm still
a little
all
murky?
In.
Okay, still all in. If
I'm
it's
still
even
all
a
in on
limited role.
Ohtani.
Okay.
He listen, I do think that the injury affects how much money he could get paid, but I think that, and I also think maybe he doesn't get some like in terms of the length of the free agent contract he could get. I think it kind of shortens a little bit just because the injuries that he haven't been like small things. He's like, this is a UCL. He had Tommy John, like I said earlier in his career. I don't want to say he's a massive question mark, but baseball, and Sean knows this as well, it's all about what have you done for us lately. And it's unreal that he still can go out there and be a DH for the Angels after this, but to me, he's still worth it if they still want to try and let him be a starter these next few years, and I still think he can do that at least for the next handful of years.
John's bringing up PCA would be blocked if Bellinger signed long term, but I don't think that needs to be the case because
PCA will not be blocked because of Bellinger.
Yeah, I mean PCA is a better defender in center. I mean. Oh, well, Cody Bellinger, a really good center fielder, is going to have to play left or right. I mean, that's a good problem to have, or first base. But if I'm a Cubs fan or I'm an owner, I think I just stay away from Ohtani. And I think maybe not, that's probably the wrong way to phrase this, but we saw what happened with Carlos Correa. Yeah. We saw the way that played out. Who is the one guy who does not care what that number is? At the end of the day, there is one owner that will have his sight on Shohei Ohtani, and he will sign Shohei Ohtani because money is a laughing matter to Steve Cohen.
Yeah.
It does not matter how much Shohei Ohtani is going to make because what Steve Cohen sees is an investment in Shohei Ohtani, and if you had unlimited funds, you probably just would keep going until he said yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that there are a lot of question marks on if he could be a starter, on if he could do this two-way thing, but even if he's not, he's still probably going to hit 60 home runs. Like, if he's just a full-time hitter, he's still one of the greatest athletes of all time. His UCL just doesn't work, So I still think that he is absolutely worth the investment. He is still someone that I think is going to be an awe-striking player for Major League Baseball fans.
Wherever he goes, he's also going to basically bring money back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure.
If he signed with the Cubs, the amount of Japanese fans out. I mean, Seiya Suzuki's already playing for the Cubs, and he's pretty popular in Japan. Not like Ohtani, but if you have Ohtani and Seiya Suzuki on the same team, like the amount of Japanese fans that will be watching the Chicago Cubs for however many years to come, like that's more revenue. Whoever signs him, you're right, Sean. It's an investment that you'll probably be paying back or getting back in return fairly quickly because he's just such a popular player globally.
Before we take our first break here, I would say, if you're looking at a price tag of $500 plus for Ohtani, if I'm the Cubs, Bellinger, I know the rumors like around 210. Let's just call it 225. Candelario, $75 million. Right, or something like that.
I don't even think that. I don't think you have to do anything like that.
I mean, Bellinger is pretty. I mean, you'll get Benintendi. Like, I don't know how the hell that man got $75 million. Candelario is going to hit 20 home runs as a switch hitting third baseman. That's pretty damn useful.
He's had a great season, but you look at Candelario's numbers for his career. I mean, I don't even think it's even at the level of Andrew Benintendi's career.
Yeah, we'll see.
So.
I mean, maybe less than $75 million, and then maybe you sign a starter because Stroman might be out the door. Hendricks, how much can you trust him?
Yeah.
I think I'd rather put $500 million into those three positions or those three players because you can have Bellinger at first base, Candelario at third base.
Right.
I think John's bringing, letting Tauchman go. Unfortunately, yeah. But Happ,
We're enjoying
Suzuki,
the summer of Mike Tauchman while we still can.
PCA, Candelario, Bellinger,
Yeah.
Horner, Swanson.
The
That's
thing-
a pretty good.
Yeah, the thing about I don't think it's like you have to sign Shohei Ohtani. I don't think that's I don't think it would be a failure of an offseason if they don't get Ohtani. And I say that because their top prospects are scheduled to debut next year. Some of them this year. I think PCA could be here in September. He's their top prospect in the system. He's a top 10 prospect in all of baseball. He is the best defensive outfielder in all the minor leagues, and he's shown that he can hit at every level in the minor leagues too. So there's a lot of upside there. So you have your best prospects coming up next year that also can pitch as well. Some of them, at least, not all of them. And then, again, the Cubs are the Cubs. I'm sorry to say this. You guys are Sox fans. But, the Cubs do spend money despite what some people think. They've spent money the last 2 off seasons after letting the core go that helped win the World Series. They have shown that they are trying to put a World Series caliber team together. This year was all about, well, if this, and this happens, maybe they can make the playoffs. And we're seeing, some of those things work out, some of those extremes. Next year, going into the offseason, if they don't take that next jump, no matter whether they make the playoffs or not this year, if they do not make that jump using the resources they have, and that's what I mean by resources, I'm talking about money, to put themselves over the top, at least in the NL Central, I'll probably be disappointed going into next year and probably be a little bit pessimistic. I feel confident that they will, though, because the way that they have done things ever since they traded the core it looks like they've set themselves up very nicely. They went from one of the bottom farm systems in all of baseball to one of the top farm systems in baseball. They've developed guys. They have picked up random dudes and have turned them into valuable players,
yeah.
right? If you're a Cubs fan right now, no matter what happens the rest of this year, you should be really excited about the future.
Right.
So,
well, and Carter bringing up the Cubs payroll is 14th in baseball. I mean, Tom Ricketts can comfortably be top 10, top 5 in baseball without a problem.
I think because they DFA'd Mancini, they DFA'd Tucker Barnhart, they DFA'd Eric Hosmer. I'm probably missing another name in there or something. To me, that's a sign that they are going to go over the luxury tax this offseason. So, obviously, we got to wait and see. And I'm not trying to get too far ahead, but again, I think that they will be major players in free agency this year.
I don't know if this year is the year for the Cubs to win the World Series. I wouldn't bet on it at 50-1. I don't think they'll win the pennant at 19-1, but to win the division at plus 150, maybe. I don't trust the Brewers, but I mean this team does seem legit in the fact that we'll see October baseball from the Cubs, which is exciting for CHGO and exciting
for Cody over here.
That homer.
Right, and like I said, they've won 5 of 6, including last night. Thanks to Ian Happ, who is our Taking Care of Business Award winner, powered by ComEd. Did I do that right, guys?
Yeah.
Perfect. You're taking care of business.
They're taking care of business, baby. Ian Happ had the game-winning hit last night, drove in 2 runs in the 10th inning. He's been kind of a polarizing player within Cubs fandom this year just because a lot of people don't want him hitting in the 3-hole. He didn't have a great night last night, and even his hit was kind of a cheapie just based off the fact that the Pirates' outfield was playing back. But, hey, man, that's baseball. You put the ball in play, sometimes good things happen, and that's better than watching him strike out with 2 guys in scoring position. So credit to Ian Happ for doing that, and he's always someone that I'll cheer for because he's worked really hard to get to where he's at. He really struggled parts of his career with the Cubs, and he played really well last year and the beginning of this year, earned himself a nice little contract extension that's basically team friendly for the Cubs. It's not going to affect them long term. I'm excited about what Ian Happ can be for the future, and he's been solid overall this year. A lot of Cubs fans would tell you no, he hasn't, but I agree to disagree with those people.
And we got to see Cody celebrate while we were having drinks over there and watching his Cubs win. So that was also a plus there, and credit to Ian Hatt for doing that. Guys, you have to check out Sunnyside. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary is your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping, a place where all kinds of visitors are welcome to explore, discover, and purchase a wide array of high-quality products. Sunnyside has everything you need to elevate your summer. It's a one-stop shop for all your cannabis needs, no matter where you are on your cannabis journey. Easy online ordering and in-store pickup, great transparent loyalty program, Sunnyside Rewards. And let me highlight a couple of Sunnyside's house of brands. You have High Supply, which offers quality weed that's always available. Buds are expertly grown, lab tested, and available in vape carts, vape pens, flour, popcorn, shake, pre-rolls, shorties, and concentrates. And, of course, you have good news as well, which is your gummies, a rechargeable vape pen and cart, perfect for great moments with the crew. And through August, you guys, head to sunnyside.shop and use code CHGO25 at checkout for 25% off your total order, one use per customer, not stackable with other promotions. That's not only for new customers. Anyone can use our code. Pick up everything you need to elevate your summer. Must be 21 or older or be an Illinois Med card holder.
Thank you very much to Nick for that read and for Sunnyside. And Cody, again, shout out to you taking care of business with that comment.
Yeah, let's go.
And the people over at Ray Auto Group will take care of you, especially during the Make This the Summer sales event. If you are in the market for a new or used vehicle, our friends over at Ray Chevy in Fox Lake have just joined the CHGO team, which is great news for you. Adam Hogue, your guy, just went over to Ray CDJR and bought a new car over from the people over at Ray, and he learned about the Ray Price Promise. It's a guarantee that the price you see online is the price you pay when you get into the dealership. We found that in many cases, other dealers will raise the price on you when you come into the dealership, saying things like, are you a recent college grad? Are you active in the military? Are you a farmer? And in most cases, for Cody, myself, Nick, the answer is no. So they're kind of sick of, people getting screwed with these limited rebates. This doesn't apply for everybody. At Ray, that's not the case. The price you see online is the price you pay with no add-ons to the price ever. And in fact, Ray will do everything possible to find additional savings for you, which makes the price lower than you see online. As one of the top-selling dealers in the Midwest, you'll always be able to shop one of Chicagoland's largest inventories and save big at Ray Chevy, because they now have over 100 Chevy Trax models available starting at $21,495. Now through August 31st, you have less than a week to act. All buyers can qualify for 0% financing, make 0 payments until 2024, plus put no money down, and best of all, pay 0 hidden fees with the Ray Price Promise. Visit Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or raychevrolet.com, serving the community since 1963. Find new roads during the Make This the Summer sales event. Boom. All right.
Boom. We got, 75 in the watching right now?
We got 75 people?
Let's go. 75 people, 24 likes.
So it should be 75 likes.
It should be people.
That's how it usually should be.
Looking at all these names, it's the usual suspects, and that means we got some Bears fans hanging out with us, which means we kind of are going to pay this or pay this tease off. I brought this up yesterday. Ooh. I told you guys that I wasn't going to tell you about this.
Oh, yeah, you did.
I need to test your strength. Not only am I going to see if you can name all of these players, we are then going to have a snake draft to determine who is the Bears' best backup quarterback in the past 10 years. There are 9 quarterbacks that are up for contention since 2013. Let's start off with most recently. These are either the players with the second most passing attempts or second most games started on the Chicago Bears. So who is the Bears' backup quarterback in 2022?
So we're going to go with Trevor Siemian.
Correct.
As your backup in 2022.
Yeah. And Nathan Peterman.
Siemian is the one that I'm going to count because he's the guy with the most games. But Peterman is you got the third answer correct as well. 2021, who was the backup quarterback?
So was it, technically.
Andy Dalton.
Justin Fields was a backup for 4 weeks. Yeah. But I guess we go Andy Dalton there.
I wrote Andy Dalton.
We'll go Andy Dalton.
Yes, okay. Andy Dalton.
Don't let the facts get in the way of a good story.
Yep.
2020.
So that would be Nick Foles?
That would be Nick Foles.
Yeah, Nick Foles in
2019.
Because that was the year that not only Nick Foles started 7 games, but Andy Dalton started 6 games, and Mitch Trubisky started 5 games. I counted Mitch as the actual starter. Because he was. He was the
Well, Andy Dalton would have been the
game,
next year, the 2020 season. For 21, right?
Yeah, Andy Dalton was in 2021.
21. Okay,
But I counted Foles because he started.
Okay.
He started the most games.
Okay.
Even though Trubisky was technically the backup quarterback.
Okay.
2019.
Why am I?
What's his name? The guy from Mizzou that
yes,
Ryan always talks about.
Chase Daniel.
Daniel, yeah.
Bagman himself in 2019 and 2018.
Yep.
2017, who is the backup quarterback?
Jesus Christ.
Barkley?
Oh, no,
Nope.
Glennon.
Glennon, yeah.
Jeez.
Oh, yeah, that Barkley
this
was the
is
season
hurting
before.
me going down this road right now.
Yeah.
Giraffe Neck himself.
Yes.
2016, we got 2 answers that I'll accept.
Was Barkley one?
Matt Barkley was one of them.
Matt Barkley.
Brian Hoyer.
Brian Hoyer was the other one.
Yes, Brian.
I'll count those both as the backups because they were. There wasn't really a clear backup there. It was just whoever was healthy. 2015, who was the Bears' backup quarterback?
McCown.
Nope.
No. 2015.
2015 and 2014 is the same name.
Yikes.
Oh, boy.
God.
Why am I blanking on this? This is Fox.
Where's John Fox originally? What was the first? Maybe not Denver, but what
Carolina,
was
Denver.
Carolina.
Why am I
I'm blanking.
blanking?
Carolina Panther, great.
Carolina Panther, great.
I mean, I'm using great very liberally.
Oh, crap.
Jimmy Clausen?
Jimmy Clausen!
Oh, there we go. Good
Look
job,
at
Cody.
you.
Yeah.
Did you read the chat?
I did.
Okay.
Credit to Gary.
Credit to
Gary's
Gary.
been yelling at us all show,
Gary's
but
doing
I
a
give
great
credit
job.
to Gary.
2013 for our last backup quarterback.
So that would be McCown.
That would be Josh McCown. All right, so those are our 9 quarterbacks. Trevor Siemian, Andy Dalton, Nick Foles,
Painful.
Chase Daniel, Mike Glennon, Matt Barkley, Brian Hoyer, Jimmy Clausen, Josh McCown. All right, so Cody, you're going to have the first pick here.
Damn it.
And I have to take the best backup
You have to take the best backup quarterback out of Trevor Siemian, Andy Dalton, Nick Foles, Chase Daniel,
And
Mike Glennon, Barkley, Hoyer.
And are we
Clausen,
basing this?
McCown.
Are we basing this off their Bears career or just their careers in general?
Whatever helps you. I would say we should pick this off of strictly Bears performance.
Okay.
Who is the best Bears backup quarterback?
All right.
So,
All right. Well, solely based off the nicknames that I've heard for him, and I don't know, he did give me some fun moments. Give me Nick Foles.
Okay.
Number 1 overall.
Ooh, okay.
number 1 overall,
Number
Nick
one,
Foles.
Nick Foles.
Oh, man, I know where I'm going with this. Give me Josh McCown, you guys.
The future Texans head coach, right?
Yeah, dude has great head of hair, too.
He does.
He does.
Yes.
Doesn't he have like 10 kids?
Yeah, he's
Yeah, him
and
and
like
Phil Rivers have to be.
Phil Rivers
They have to be
territory.
friends in the offseason and being like, "Hey, you want to get the kids together and play a game of football?" You know.
They probably have like some
Play some
insurance
flag.
deal together. It's probably cheaper for all of them to get their kids insured that way. All right, so my first pick, and then we're gonna snake it. So I get 2 picks back to back. Oh, this sucks.
Simeon Dalton.
I will take Foles.
I
Cody
took
took-
Foles.
No,
Wow.
This
I
is-
will take Mike. No, I'll take Matt
no.
Barkley.
Okay.
I'll take Matt Barkley, and I will
Go
take.
back to back here, yeah.
I'll take Chase Daniel.
Well, at least Chase Daniel has good vibes.
That's really what I was basing it off of.
Good vibes.
He's got money.
He also
Chase Daniel
he's
is not
very-
afraid to buy a drink.
Yeah,
No.
like if there's any backup that I respect more in in the NFL over the last 10 years, it's Chase Daniel, because the guy literally has just done nothing but be a backup and made so much money doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
Basically.
he's good. He's good at what he does, for sure. So it's going to go back to me here, Sean.
Yes, it is back to Nick. Off the board, Nick Foles, Josh McCown, Matt Barkley, Chase Daniel. Still remaining, Jimmy Clausen, Brian Hoyer, Mike Glennon, Andy Dalton, Trevor Siemian.
Give me Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton, all
You know, he got injured, and that's what kind of put Fields to take over there, even though, I mean, he wasn't phenomenal, obviously, when he played with the Bears. But, yeah, give me Andy Dalton there.
Okay.
Gary wanted you to take Brian Hoyer. Are you going to take Brian Hoyer, Cody? You got 2 picks back to back.
Okay.
Ryan Hoyer.
Now I feel like I need to take a vibes pick.
You got Siemian, Glennon, Hoyer, and Clausen. None of those guys are vibey.
No, they're not, and they're all I think I got to take Brian Hoyer.
Brian Hoyer, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
If
a bald
Barkley
brother.
would have been available still, I would have taken him instead of Hoyer.
So the first time I met Will, I'm going to say Will DeWitt for the first time in person, because we were doing the podcast, obviously just virtually, but we had actually met for the first time in person. It was a Bears-Jags game, and I think Brian Hoyer was the quarterback for the Bears that game. So we got to meet for the first time, and Hoyer was the guy out there throwing the rock for the Bears. So
nice.
Never forget that.
An icon. All right, Cody, you got another pick.
Oh. All right, so now I have
Simeon, Glennon, Clausen.
Oh, brother. Let's go. Well, it's kind of, Northwestern isn't exactly
the
these days.
right now, but
yeah. Give me Simeon, I guess. Yeah. I'm not taking long neck Mike Glennon, all right?
I think I'm probably stuck with him unless you're going to go with him, Nick. Are you going to go with Mike Glennon?
I mean, it's Mike Glennon or Jimmy Clausen. You guys, what the?
I would be happy with Jimmy Clausen. I hope you pick Mike Glennon.
I'm going to take Mike Glennon.
All right, let's go.
All right.
He could see above the entire freaking defense with his neck out there.
And,
was always the
credit to him for getting paid like $18.5 million for doing nothing.
Again, yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out Ryan Pace. The only thing that I don't like to say that came out of Eastern Illinois.
I as a guy who is a Notre Dame fan, I'm happy with Clausen. I feel like that's probably vibe team. I think I got the best vibes. I don't know about quarterback wise.
There was some when Clausen came out of the draft, people were like, "Oh." I feel like there was some hype there.
There was some hype. No,
it's like the same thing with Brady Quinn, but obviously higher expectations for Brady Quinn, and he flopped too. But he went to the Browns, and the Browns are the Browns. The Browns are just like the Bears. That's where quarterbacks go to die. Until now, hopefully the Bears, the Bears are where quarterbacks go to succeed. Yeah.
I feel like Clausen had some decent moments, right? Yeah, he had that one game against Detroit, 23 of 39, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Hey, that's
what were you doing on that day?
Oh, I wasn't watching the Bears. All right, let's recap this draft. Nick Foles was our first pick, Josh McCown second, Matt Barkley, then Chase Daniel, Andy Dalton, Brian Hoyer, Trevor Simeon, Mike Glennon, and Jimmy Clausen. Cody's team is Nick Foles, Brian Hoyer, and Trevor Simeon. Nick's team is Josh McCown, Andy Dalton, Mike Glennon, and my team is Matt Barkley, Chase Daniel, Jimmy Clausen.
Is there actually a winner of this draft?
No.
I don't even know. I don't think so.
The fans are the winners.
Yeah.
The viewers.
Yes. The viewers are the winners
All
for listening to
watching.
us do that. Yeah. Perhaps I should have taken McCown over Foles because when he did play at the Bears, there was some success. Like the
there
team,
was some controversy. If Cutler should be the starter when he was playing for.
And the whole reason that McCown was in there was because Cutler got hurt, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then there was like you said, all the controversy of when Cutler got healthy, but McCown was hot. The offense was playing well with him, and then they put Cutler back in, and I think that isn't that the same year where Randall Cobb broke my heart.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably.
I hate thinking about that day. It was a bad day.
That's peak Rodgers, just pulling shit out of his hat.
Yeah.
God. Yeah. So maybe that's the one. Like you can argue should have been different. I think. But
once I saw that he fell to me, I took him there.
I think on vibes alone, I won. I'll just say that.
Yeah,
I'll be.
It depends how you want to look at the draft.
Honestly, I took Nick Foles because all I can think about is him wearing the visor against the Falcons.
Oh yeah, the black visor.
Yeah. Vibes. Yeah.
I don't remember
when he led the comeback.
I was picturing like actual dad visor hat, not like
no.
football helmet visor. Yeah. All right, well,
he was a meme for like a few days.
It was. He was ready. He went out there and did what he needed to do.
Throw it to the L.
Throw it to the L. But that was a great segment that you had there planned, Sean. Appreciate it going down Bears memory lane with backup quarterbacks. It was great. We're also very excited here, guys, to be partnering with Circle K. You can check out your local Circle K for the best coffee, beer, and snack selection, and premium gas, of course. And you got to look out for those freebies and the giveaways down the road. And whenever you're going on a road trip, when you see that Circle K, you already know what you got to do. Turn in, you park, you go into the vast selection there and just pick up your go-tos. And there's going to be a bunch of locations near you, so definitely got to check it out when you can, especially when you're driving or planning on going on a long road trip. But, again, we just want to say thanks to Circle K for sponsoring CHGO, and visit the nearest Circle K to pick up all your favorite finds.
Absolutely, and we want to let you know about our friends over at Game Time. If you are looking to get into any event, our friends at Game Time have you hooked up. Buying tickets to your favorite events shouldn't be stressful. Game Time is the fastest and easiest way to buy tickets to all the sports, music, comedy, and theater near you. With killer deals on last-minute tickets and their best price guarantee, you could stop stressing over the tickets and start getting hyped for all the fun you'll have. Forget planning months in advance. Game Time has tickets on deals on tickets. Right up to the day of the event. So if you're looking to do something tonight in the Chicagoland area, Sox and A's are playing. Cheap tickets, and you could just walk up and buy tickets on your phone. Forget planning. It's not worth it.
You can go join everyone else that's telling Jerry to sell the team. Just bring your own sign. That, to me, like if I was a Sox fan, that would be my only motivation to go to a game right now is to create my own sign that's unique and go tell Jerry to sell the team.
I do wonder if they're actually going to let people in with those signs. Like, that's the thing is they're probably checking at the gate. But the Game Time guarantee means you always get the best price. If you find tickets on the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. So snag the tickets without the stress. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHGO for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Your game of the week, too, from our friends over at Game Time is the A's and White Sox game tomorrow. Woo! Because it's a bobblehead day.
Oh,
you can go get a nice Dylan Cease bobblehead if you're one of the first 15,000 people.
That's how it beats out Bears preseason.
Absolutely. and you can get tickets for $5 each, and if with the $20 off, I think that's free. I think those tickets are free. So that's your Game Time game of the week, and the food at Guaranteed Rate feels good.
That's like another reason to go.
It's a vibey place.
Y'all do have the best food out of Cubs
I am
Sox.
starving right now speaking about food.
Yeah.
Well, we get to the Circa experience. We're going to need our Shady Rays as we go out to Stadium Swim. But Cody, I know that you are ready to take on everything Circa has to offer. I know you've been foaming at the mouth to go to Stadium Swim. Thankfully, you have your Shady Rays.
Absolutely. I mean, admittedly, I've been wearing my Shady Rays this entire time on today's shows and yesterday's shows because my future bets are so bright, but also because these lights are in my eyes too. So my Shady Rays have made this experience so much easier. Take on the sun with gear built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered for the warm weather ahead with premium polarized shades at an affordable price. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers a world-class product that's just as good as any expensive pair we've worn. Durable frames and extremely clear optics for outdoor adventures. That's not all, guys. Shady Rays offers the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by lost and broken replacements. If you lose or break your pair, even on day one, they told us they will send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. Wear your Shady Rays with confidence because they have your back long after you purchase. Together with their customers, Shady Rays is providing much-needed support to nonprofit partners across the U.S. through Shady Rays Impact, from building play sets for pediatric cancer patients to providing young adults with MS the outdoor adventure of a lifetime. Shady Rays is making an impact in your community and others like it now and for years to come. If you don't love your Shady Rays, exchange for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. There's no risk. When you shop, their team always has your back. Exclusively for everyone watching, listening, wherever you're getting this content right now, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal this season. Go to shadyrays.com and use code CHGO for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself these shades, rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people.
All right, I want to go on a quick little White Sox diatribe while I look good with my Shady Rays. Also, Nick's got one of the pairs that I really haven't seen. They're very sleek.
Nice.
Of course, Moreano is like
see-through
the
too.
sleekest pair. Yeah, they look real sleek.
He's always a vibe.
Shout out to Shady Rays. They are fantastic and the best sunglasses that I own. Before we wrap up with what we're most excited to enjoy with our remaining time at Circa, maybe we recap some of our favorite future bets to give out to the people. I do need to talk a little bit about my White Sox, because talking about the Cubs being contenders and where the White Sox are just making me sick. And yesterday, you didn't do the Cubs post-game show. I didn't do the Sox post-game show. Janice Scurio filled in for me, and she did a great job, and I'm excited to get the chance to listen to that show yesterday. But there was a quote from Pedro Grifol. And we talked a little bit about Tony La Russa and how, he may or may not be a consultant for the White Sox and may not be a team employee, but still might be talking with Jerry Reinsdorf. And there's a report from Bob Nightingale that Pedro Grifol had a meeting with Tony La Russa and Jerry Reinsdorf on Wednesday. Yesterday, after this reported meeting took place, Pedro Grifol said Reinsdorf is a big-time competitor. He wants to win. He wants to set this. He wants to set things up right. That's where we are. That's what we're doing in the process of doing. He wasn't going to get into it. He wasn't going to talk much about a rebuild, but it was more of a retool. I just want to say this. It's not on the White Sox show, so I feel fair in stepping out a little bit. And I don't mean this to be rude. I don't mean this to be slanderous. But Pedro Grifol is a kiss ass. I don't understand how you actually take that quote seriously. Reinsdorf is a big-time competitor. He wants to win. He wants to set things up right. Maybe he wants to set things up right. Maybe. If he gets this GM choice right, he'll gain a little bit of faith. But the guy he just fired started off this season saying we need to regain the fans' trust. Not a single fan I know of the White Sox trusts Jerry Reinsdorf, thinks that he's a big-time competitor, and thinks that he wants to win. The most famous quote to come out of one of his contemporaries about how Jerry Reinsdorf does business outside of the Cigar Aficionado article from 1995 where Jerry Reinsdorf said he wanted to win a World Series his way was from David Sampson saying what he wants is a competitive team in September so fans think that they're in it. It's not a big-time competitor. What he wants is to be the best businessman that he can be. He wants to win the businessman competition. That's great. That doesn't help your actual fucking baseball team. And I am so sick of Pedro Grifol, and I understand, hey, there's less jobs of being a major league manager than there are U.S. senators. Yeah. So I get having to be a kiss ass. But Christ, like, if all that you need to do to be successful in the White Sox organization is kiss up and just, go along with the program, then, hey, I'd be a great employee. Sign me up. I mean, I could kiss ass. Right. Sounds fun.
Well, Jerry has his guys. You guys have talked about that at ends, I'm sure, over the last year and a half of CHGO White Sox existing. It's a lot of like what I said yesterday. Like, to me, it doesn't matter who they hire in the GM because at the end of the day, will Jerry allow them to spend the kind of money to make the team better? Will he invest in making the organization internally better? And I'm not even just talking about the players. I'm talking about front office, player development, scouting, all of that. Like, will he actually invest in making that better? I don't think anyone would have any faith in that. And that to me, that's probably their biggest problem, more so than who their next GM is.
Well, and really quickly, Sean, like we were talking yesterday, like if they just hire within with Chris Getz, like that means you're not that goes polarizing to what he just said about being like a true competitor, right? Because you're just keeping things status quo, being that you don't want to go outside and do things differently than just being, hiring someone like that or that inside promotion. So I'm glad, Sean, you went and, just expressed your honest emotions about what this is actually, what's happening with that White Sox team, because it is so damn frustrating.
Well, and you bring up, I'm sorry, not to cut you off, but you talked about the Cubs being serious and going out and actually signing people and spending that money. And I get that they have the 14th payroll in baseball, but they're kind of resetting things. Yeah. And the way that things are lining up for them right now is when you start being convinced that we should spend on a team. And I don't have any qualms that Tom Ricketts is going to spend. I think he's a moron for saying biblical losses because you spent money. To make money, you got to spend money. Like, the Cubs are doing fine. Yeah. So that was just BS, and that's typical billionaire BS. Right. But at the end of the day, there is one stat that sticks out, and there's one stat that proves that Jerry Reinsdorf isn't a big competitor. 3 teams in Major League Baseball have never signed a player to a $100 million contract or bigger. The A's, who are leaving their town because they're heading to Vegas because Vegas is desperate to have a sports team here. The Royals, who are also trying to get their city to give them money for a new stadium, and the White Sox, who, hey, is apparently threatening to move to Nashville. So I don't know. I don't think it is big-time competitor. I think it's all fake. And the one time he went out and spent was after the lockout that he caused. He went and spent massive money on Albert Bell and then never did it again.
Yeah.
I wasn't alive.
I will say this in terms of Grifol, like, what else do you expect the guy to say when asked?
No,
about
right,
this kind of
absolutely.
stuff? So, like, it doesn't matter what he was going to say. And, yeah, he probably is kissing ass because he doesn't want to lose his job. And, as soon as that new GM comes in, I would assume that he's going to be let go at the end of the year. I would be surprised.
Not if it's his fucking buddy.
Well, that's true.
I mean, if it's
That's
Chris
true.
Getz,
That's true. Yeah.
That's his former coach.
Run it back. They're running it back. Yeah.
If they, if it is a guy outside the organization, I would assume that Griffol's on his way out. So
I would hope.
We'll see. I genuinely think the Chris Getz rumor or whatever. I think that the White Sox put that out there to get a taste of what the fan base and people think, and if it at this point, I think a lot of people don't like the idea. Mm-hmm. So because if I'm surprised that it hasn't just been announced yet at this point, considering the reports that have came out. I think that the organization just wanted a taste test of what people think, and people don't like it, and so I think that they're actually going to go try find someone else. Which, to me, that kind of business of doing that is not it's so unserious, and also it just kind of shows how unqualified for these jobs that whoever is going to make this decision, Jerry, it shows that they're just they shouldn't be making these kinds of decisions. But yeah, man. Well, listen, I remember the Cubs before Tom Ricketts, man, and I know Tom Ricketts hasn't been perfect, but ever since he's became the owner of the Cubs, he hired Theo Epstein, Jed Hoyer. They make all the baseball decisions. Outside of those 2 years, because of COVID, Tom Ricketts has not made decisions based off the roster or anything. It's always been the front office doing all that. And listen, he shouldn't have let COVID be the reason that they basically traded Darvish for 18-year-olds. They let Kyle Schwarber go for nothing. Again, he hasn't been a perfect owner, and I know a lot of people don't like his family, the Ricketts family in general, because of political reasons. I get it. So I'm not sitting here saying that he's done everything right, but I will say when it comes to building the base, the team and how they've repaired Wrigley and all that like they needed to, it's been, for the most part, has been fine.
He gets leeway, and he should. They bought the team in 2009, right?
Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah.
Fucking 7 years later, they have a World Series title. Jerry Reinsdorf bought the team in 1981, and then they didn't win a World Series title until 2005. I mean, again, the time from 2005 to now is much longer than the time it took for Tom Ricketts to bring a championship to Chicago. I don't know, again, if he's the sole reason, but his ownership was a lot better than the Tribune or the Wrigley Company. That he was an improvement, and I think that there is some leeway to figure out how to navigate being a Major League Baseball owner. And again, he's not overstepping, and maybe that will change in 40 years where Jerry Reinsdorf is. But Reinsdorf's been an owner for 40 years. You should be through all the processes and the mistake makings, etc. And he's not.
Genuinely lucky that Michael Jordan landed in his lap.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's legitimately lucky that happened.
Again, when Tom Ricketts went out and got Theo Epstein, right? He went and bought the best baseball mind when he was an owner. He didn't luck into it. Jerry Reinsdorf lucked into Tony La Russa, who was already on the White Sox, and already a White Sox employee when he bought the team in 1981. And then, he buys the Bulls in 83, and then a year later, the Portland Trailblazers don't pick Sam Bowie, and that's how you get 6 titles?
They don't pick
it's
Michael
all luck.
Jordan, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, right. They pick Michael Jordan over Bowie.
Yeah.
But anyways, we got about 7 minutes left of the show. Please hit that thumbs up button. We appreciate everyone watching. We've got 60 people watching, 34 likes. Walter Payton's a great number, but we'd like to get to 40 if possible.
I agree.
Mike Tauchman wears number 40.
That's true.
It is the summer of Mike Tauchman. I know he's kind of struggled since we put the shirt out. I don't want to say that we jinxed it or whatever yet. No. I think there's still time to get a good couple week hot stretch from Mike Tauchman, but
all it takes is one game.
Yeah, that too.
All it takes is a homer off Mitch Keller, which maybe we should go bet on.
Perhaps.
What are you guys looking forward to most with your time left here at Circa? What has been your most favorite thing here at Circa? Because we do got to give them a shout-out for letting us be here at Radio Row.
Can I get a little personal? Can I just say that I've just enjoyed hanging out with you guys?
Oh, appreciate it, Cody. It's been awesome.
Yeah. Well, so, like...
It's the friends we made along the way.
It is the friends we made along the way. Like, Nick, like, dude, we don't ever, like, you never are at the office when I'm at the office. So, like, it's cool to be able to do this experience with you guys. I see Sean every day, so I already knew, like, what I was going to get with Sean here, which is awesome. But, like, to be able to hang out with other coworkers is cool. So
No, that's been an awesome part of this, too, like you said. And I'm not
the
usually
gambling
around.
part last
the
night was
gambling part,
awesome.
that's still, we're going to continue that success later today. But
Knock on wood.
I'm also, I'm really looking forward to going to these these 6 pools that are just waiting for us to jump in after this podcast. And it's been really cool to see, like, obviously we're on Radio Row here. You see ESPN's across from us. You see all these other brands here, but CHGO is here and represented, and that's really freaking awesome that we get to do this opportunity and get to do it with you guys, because this is our first time ever being on a podcast all together. And we did it in Vegas, so that's been really cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's true. Like, I think I've done, like, CHGO Bears After Dark with Nick before, but Sean wasn't there. But obviously, me and Sean do CHGO Bets daily, but Nick doesn't ever do it with us until this week, right? So, yeah, it's a unique way for all 3 of us to do a podcast together for the first time.
And shout out to Marissa, too. It was first time meeting Marissa. Awesome, it's very cool to see all the people that believed in the Chicago market, believed in CHGO from ALLCITY, the fact that we were their, like, the big market test, and it feels like we've kind of... I feel like we've lived up to the hype. I feel like we've delivered. It's been great. This has been a dream come true to be working at CHGO, and the people who had the vision at ALLCITY. It really does feel like their vision is coming true. It feels like we're delivering on that, and hopefully we just keep growing and growing. It's obviously clear that Circa believes in us, and we are so thankful for our relationship with Circa. They invited us out here for Summer League. They invited us again for Radio Row to promote Circa Million 5 and Circa Survivor. Again, you have until September 9th to join either of these contests. $1,000 per entry. If you're joining Circa Million, you get a maximum of 5 entries. If you're joining Circa Survivor, you get a maximum of 10 entries per person. With Circa Million 5, pick 5 teams against the spread every week. Winner takes home $1 million, and there are quarterly and season-long prizes all throughout the contest. And then Circa Survivor, you pick 1 team straight up every week to win. If the team loses or ties, the entry is eliminated, and you can only pick a team once in a season. Go 20-0 or be the last person standing to win. If a single person wins, they get the entire pot. If multiple people go 20-0 or multiple people are eliminated the same week to reduce the contest to 0, they split the pot. We're going to go check out Stadium Swim, the 4,000-person capacity pool, the 143 by 40-foot LED screen. It's open 365, 6 pools, 2 spas, 15 square feet of wet space, 2 swim bars, cabana, and a super cabana that holds up to 50 guests. It's going to be electric. And again, thank you to everyone at Circa for believing in us, for inviting us out here, and thank you to everyone at ALLCITY for putting this together and making sure that we were here. And we're going to be here and enjoying Circa for a couple more hours until Nick's taking a red-eye home.
Yeah. That'll be fun, you guys. We're going to have some fun.
waking up early tomorrow with a headache, but like...
it's all worth it.
Yeah, all worth it.
We'll sleep on the plane. That's Cody Delmendo. You can follow him at Cody_CHGO. That's Nicholas Moreano. You can follow him at Nicholas Moreano. And make sure you do follow him because he will be at Soldier Field tomorrow for Week 3 of the NFL preseason.
Somehow,
some way. He's going to be with money in his pocket.
Yeah.
Yes, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm Sean Anderson. You can follow me at Sean_W_Anderson. Thank you to Goose Island as well. The Chicago Sports Podcast presented by Goose Island, the official beer of CHGO. Find one of their Chicago locations at gooseisland.com/locations. Thank you again to Circa. Thank you again to the sales team for getting this all set up as well. John, our guy Chris, Sarah, etc. Spencer, everyone that was a part of this. Thank you to Marissa for producing the show. Thank you to you guys for hanging out with me. Thank you to Mike Palm for giving us the hot take of the year as well.
The hot take of the year.
And we'll be back on Sunday for CHGO Cubs and Sox, and tomorrow for CHGO Bears. So stay tuned to CHGO Sports throughout this week and for the rest of forever.